better was if Gilmore was there, but, you know.
Were you in the mosh pit, Tracy?
Mosh pit, the average age of the people there was probably 50, 55, so there was no mosh pit. Even the people on the floor, in the seats on the floor, sat there politely and now and then raised their hands above their head.
Well, they've been playing that one. They've been playing that one for a while.
Yeah.
So look, I'll quickly do a wrap up for myself, and then we'll throw across to Andrew because I know he's sitting in the wings very quietly waiting. So from my point of view, pretty good month actually. I was pretty happy to finish off the book review of Balanced Diversity. It's always a dilemma writing a book review and keeping it down to about 500 words, I think it was, something to that extent. Other interesting points for me news-wise is probably the SCEP again, Rob England's recent article about whining about the IT department. It's not a bad read. The question I've got though is maybe he's preaching to converted a little bit too much. I'm not sure how many business people will drop on there and read that. The other things, or low light, which is actually a bit comical when I think about it. Each time I've gone and spent some time with our guest who's coming on board, my father-in-law's had some dilemma with his broadband. So I spent 5 hours one night actually holding a telco support person on the phone because they didn't have a clue what they were going to do and I was going to carry the whole support call, so I kept him there for the whole time. But we got it up and running, so that's probably the low light I had.
I was involved in the Skype conversation that night, which you were getting rather frustrated.
That's right, yeah, I was doing other things on the side. We're doing other things on the side there as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, madly pulling together one, maybe two submissions for the Australian conference, and our deadline on that's tomorrow. So, of course, I'm taking that right up to the line.
No, it's not tomorrow. It's the 28th.
No, it's the 23rd, Simone.
I thought it was the 28th.
No,
28th for New Zealand.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So now I'm feeling much more relaxed now, Simone. Thank you for that. Anyway, the final part of my update is I won't really delve into because I've spent considerable time with our guest over the last couple of weeks, so I'll hand it across to him. So what I'll do is I'll firstly introduce him. Tonight, our guest, and why I'm getting called Friars, is because our guest is Andrew Souter, and we thought it's more polite to call the guest by his first name than his last. He's actually the local representative of Thinking Dimensions, which is a global consulting firm focusing on all sorts of things. Actually, when you look at the business profile, they focus on everything from decision-making techniques through to, in particular, IT instant problem-solving approaches. In the past, he's been a CIO, he's been in charge of systems integration at one of the big banks, and most notably, and a good way to segue in there, is Thinking Dimensions picked up the Innovation of the Year award at last year's ITSMF Australia conference, so it'll be interesting to hear about that. And the reason I've been hanging out with him is, and I will get picked up on pronunciation undoubtedly, is he's also our local expert in